Good morning, everyone. Today our discussion topic is gestational trophoblastic disease. Before we will discuss about different types of gestational trophoblast. There are three types of trophoblast: cytotrophoblast, syncytotrophoblast, intermediate trophoblast. See, this is cytotrophoblast, which which is innermost layer of the chorionic villi. Then this is cytotrophoblast, syncytotrophoblast, and this is intermediate trophoblast. Cytoplasms are small primitive epithelial cells, small to medium sized cells with polygonal to oval shape. And this and cells having single nucleus clear to granular cytoplasm and well defined cell borders. These cells are mitotically active and rapidly proliferating. And these cells are present deep to syncytoplasm. Then syncytoplasm. These are fully mature cells responsible for placental hormone production, mainly human chorionic gonadotropin. These cells are large multinucleated cells. See this with large amount of amphiphilic cytoplasm, and these cells are located external to this cytoplasm. Then intermediate trophoblast. These cells are composed of large mononuclear cells with abundant cytoplasm. And these cells are classified into three subtypes. First is villus intermediate trophoblast. See, these are villus intermediate trophoblast, which are mononuclear cells having small round uniform size nuclei with pale to clear cytoplasm, and these cells are larger than cytotrophoblast. Then implantation site trophoblast and chorionic type intermediate trophoblast. Implantation site intermediate trophoblast are mononucleate, round, uniform in size, having hyperchromatic and irregular nuclei with abundant eosinophilic cytoplasm. And these implantation site intermediate trophoblasts are embedded in abundant homogeneous and eosinophilic hybrid matrix. And this implantation site intermediate trophoblast helps in ketomaternal circulation. Then chorionic intermediate site trophoblast. These serve as an immunological barrier and helps in preventing allograft rejection of fetus by maternal immune system. Then come to the discussion topic, that is gestational trophoblastic disease. First, according to WHO classification, these gestational trophoblastic disease are divided into four types. Tumor-like lesions are exaggerated placental site reaction, placental site nodule or plaque. Then second is abnormal non-molar villus lesions. Third is molar lesions, in which complete mole, partial mole, invasive moles. And last is non-molar lesions. It contains tumor, which is choriocarcinoma, placental site trophoblastic tumor, epithelioid trophoblastic tumor, and mixed trophoblastic tumor. This classification is on the basis of trophoblastic cells of origin. Mole and atypical villus lesions, which are originate from chorionic villus trophoblast. Then gestational choriocarcinoma, which originate from villus intermediate trophoblast. Then implantation site intermediate trophoblast give rise to placental site trophoblastic tumor, exaggerated implantation site reaction. Then epithelioid trophoblastic tumor and placental nodule or atypical placental site nodule, which originate from chorionic type of intermediate trophoblast. And last one is mixed intermediate trophoblast. Uh, Come to the exaggerated placental site reaction. It is a non-neoplastic condition, represent exuberant infiltration of endometrium and myometrium by implantation site intermediate trophoblast after recent gestation. And causes are postpartum bleeding, uterine atony. See, this is in which myometrial cells are separated by this cord and nest and individual trophoblastic cell. Despite of diffuse infiltration, there is no necrosis and mitosis seen in this slide. And chorionic villi are morphologically unremarkable in exaggerated placental site reaction. Tumor marker for exaggerated placental site reaction are human placental lactogen, which is diffusely positive. Male cam, that is CD146, and Ki67 index is less than 2%. And placental alkaline phosphatase, which is weakly positive in exaggerated placental site reaction. And differential diagnosis are choriocarcinoma, epithelioid trophoblastic tumor, placental site trophoblastic tumor, and placental site nodule. Next is placental site nodule or plaque. See, this is circumscribed nodule or plaque containing chorionic type of intermediate trophoblast having central myelinization. And these cells are mononuclear cells with uniform nuclei with abundant eosinophilic clear cytoplasm. And this placental site nodule are fossicellular, that is scanty, and having focal cytological atypia. Positive stain for placental site nodule are cytokeratin, inhibin, epithelial membrane antigen, GATA3, and Ki67 index is 5%. Differential diagnosis for placental site nodules are squamous cell carcinoma, placental site trophoblastic tumor, gestational disease like molar pregnancy, and choriocarcinoma. Atypical placental site nodule. Uh, it shows histological feature intermediate between typical placental site nodule and placental site trophoblastic tumor or epithelioid trophoblastic tumor. These are some key features of atypical placental site nodule, but these are not the diagnostic features of atypical placental site nodule. Size of atypical placental site nodule is more than 5 mm and having high cellularity with more cohesive nest cord or viable protoplastic cells. These cells have marked nuclear atypia and increased mitotic activity. And Ki index is increased, which is more than 5%. Then abnormal non-molar villus lesions. These show morphological features similar to hereditary form mole. And causes of abnormal non-molar villus lesions are trisomy syndrome, diagynic triploidy. Diagynic triploidy means out of 3 haploid sets of chromosome, 2 are maternal in origin. Then placental mesenchymal dysplasia, which is also known as pseudopartial mole. And this placental mesenchymal dysplasia is associated with intrauterine growth retardation, molar androgenetic, and Beck with Widman syndrome. On grossly, this abnormal villus lesions show vesicle formation, and on microscopy, these abnormal non-molar villus lesions are villi are irregular in size and shape, with enlargement, with focal mild trophoblastic proliferation. And occasional trophoblastic pseudoinclusion may be seen in abnormal non-molar villus lesions. See, this is trisomy 21 showing irregular villi in size and shape with mild trophoblastic proliferation. Most common trisomy in abnormal non-molar villus lesions is trisomy 21. Then complete hereditary form mole. A mole occurs when empty ovum is fertilized by sperm, and all chromosome of complete moles are androgenetic, that is paternally derived. But in maternal mitochondrial DNA remain maternal in origin only. And complete mole have dispermic karyotype 46XX in 80% of cases and 46XY in 20% of the cases. In recurrent mole, NLRP7, KHDC3L mutation are common mutation present in recurrent mole. On ultrasonography, hereditary form mole show snowstorm appearance, which is characteristic features, and risk of gestational trophoblastic neoplasia after complete mole is 15 to 20% of the cases. Patient present with abnormal vaginal bleeding, which look like prune juice. Then ovarian theca lutein cyst, which is more than 6 centimeter in diameter. Uterus is enlarged for gestational age and elevated SCG level for gestational age. SCG, beta SCG have two subunit, alpha subunit and beta subunit. Beta subunit is specific for SCG, but alpha subunit is identical to LH, FSH, and TSH. So, due to increased SCG level, which causes early onset of other medical complications like hyperthyroidism due to increased TSH levels, hyperemesis gravidum due to elevated SCG levels, and pregnancy-induced hypertension. Progression risk is high when signs of trophoblastic proliferation are seen, like uterine size is greater than gestational age, and when serum HCG level is more than 1 lakh milli-international unit per ml, or when ovarian theca lutein cyst, which is more than 6 centimeter diameter, which is due to elevated LH levels, and patient having age more than 40 years. These are pro these are risk factor for progression to gestational trophoblastic neoplasia. On gross specimen is voluminous specimen with enlarged hydropic villi, and this vesicle resemble a bunch of grapes. And most characteristic feature of complete mole is absent of fetal parts. Exception is coexisting twin pregnancy, in which fetal parts may be present in other twin. Microscopy, these villi are diffuse enlargement with marked hydropic changes. See, this is villus enlargement with marked hydropic changes. There are some non-hydropic villi also. See this. These are cauliflower-like or club-shaped outlines. Then cistern formation. Cisterns are acellular body fluid-filled cavity. In complete mole cistern formation and marked trophoblastic hyperplasia, which is circumferential in pattern, is most common and characteristic feature of complete mole. There may be trophoblastic inclusions with cytological atypia and mitosis. See, these are enlarged dilated edematous villi. These villi are avascular, and there is cavitation, that is cistern formation, and there is marked increase in cyto and syncytiotrophoblastic level. It is called as trophoblastic hyperplasia, which is circumferential in pattern in complete mole. Stromal karyoexesis is a diagnostic clue for complete mole. On immunohistochemistry, positive tumor marker are human chorionic gonadotropin, placental alkaline phosphatase, human placental lactogen. And P57 is negative in complete mole, which is positive, diffusely positive in partial mole, which differentiate complete mole from partial mole. P57 and short tandem repeat genotyping is a gold standard for definitive diagnosis of molar pregnancy. And differential diagnosis are partial hereditary form mole, heteropic abortus, which is biparental diploidy, then abnormal villus lesions, then placental mesenchymal dysplasia. In placental mesenchymal dysplasia, fetus is present and there is absence of trophoblastic proliferation, which differentiate it from complete mole. Then partial mole. It's resulting from fertilization of normal egg by two spermatozoa or one spermatozoa followed by duplication of paternal chromosome content. These are two mechanisms of formation of partial mole. And these partial mole are typically diandric triploid genotype. Means out of three haploid sets, two are uh, paternal in origin and having karyotype 69XX or 69XY, XXY. Sorry. And patient present with miss or spontaneous abortion or vaginal bleeding. Uterus is may be enlarged or small for gestational age, and hyperemesis gravidum. These are clinical features of partial mole. On gross, there is immature placental admixed vesicles, and this specimen is not voluminous as in complete mole. And hydropic villi mixed with smaller normal appearing villi also seen. And main differentiating point between complete mole and partial mole is fetal part present in partial mole, which are enucleated RBCs or gestational sac, which differentiate it from partial mode from complete mode. Then on microscopy, there are two types of discrete population of villi. These are large, irregular geographic finger-like or dentate outlines, and these are small fibrotic villi. There may be cistern formation or there is mild circumferential trophoblastic hyperplasia as compared to complete mode. See, there is fetal blood vessel and nucleated RBC are commonly present in partial mode, and villi are irregularly shaped with scallop borders and secondary trophoblastic inclusion, which is characteristic feature of partial mode. On immunohistochemistry, partial mode is diffusely positive. See, this is P57 is a nuclear staining and which is present in cytotrophoblast and stromal cells. So this is cytotrophoblast and these are stromal cell in which P57 which is diffusely positive, which differentiated from complete mode. Differential diagnosis for partial moles are complete mode, which is P57 negative and androgenetic and having androgenetic diploid. Then second is hydropic spontaneous abortion, in which uh, in which biparental diploid is present and P57 is not useful as it is positive in both partial as well as hydropic spontaneous abortion. Then Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome, which is also known as exomphalos, macroglossia, and giantism (EMG). Uh, this Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome shows scalloping or sensual trophoblastic hyperplasia, which is absent in Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome and having diploid chromosome. Then invasive hereditary form mode, the most common form of persistent or metastatic gestational trophoblastic disease after hereditary form mode. And hydropic villi invade the myometrium or uterine vessel. And patient present with vaginal bleeding and persistent elevation of human chorionic gonadotropin. Sometimes invasive mode may spread to extrauterine sites like lungs, vagina, vulva, broad ligament in 20 to 40% of the cases. On gross, invasive mole show hydropic villi may be visible, which are extending from endometrium into the myometrium, and these are hemorrhagic lesions. And sometimes perforation of uterus may present in invasive mole. See, these villi are invading the myometrium or blood vessel of the myometrium, and there is intervening residua is absent in invasive mole, and this invasive mole show typical morphological features, most commonly complete mole or partial mole. Then differential diagnosis for invasive moles are choriocarcinoma and the placenta acreta. In placenta acreta, hydropic changes and other characteristics features of moles are absent in placenta acreta. Then choriocarcinoma. It is an aggressive form of gestational trophoblastic neoplasia, and this composed of sensual trophoblast, cytotrophoblast, and intermediate trophoblast. Most commonly, it shows biphasic pattern, and most common site is uterus, and most common presentation is vaginal bleeding, and associated with elevated serum HCG, which is more than 10,000 milli international unit per liter. And serum SCG is useful for diagnosis, follow evolution of therapy response, and screening of recurrences. Choriocarcinoma have high cure rates with chemotherapy and most commonly arises after complete mode. See, these are multiple dark red masses along with extensive hemorrhage and necrosis. There are four types of morphological variant of choriocarcinoma. First is monomorphic, second is paucicellular, and third is intraplacental. Intraplacental variant is mimicked like placental infra, and in which chorionic villi is present. Generally, chorionic villi absent in choriocarcinoma. and most common location for intraplacental variant is endomyometrium, and last is intramolar variant, which is associated with molar pregnancies. See, a microscopy of choriocarcinoma should triphasic population, that is syncytiotopoblast, cytotopoblast, and intermediate topoblast. These cells are arranged in solid sheets or having atypical appearance. Generally, don't choriocarcinoma there is absence of chorionic villi, but choriocarcinoma have high mitotic activity and infiltrative or destructive pattern against a background of hemorrhage or necrosis. Uh, Absence of chorionic villi there is exception, which is intraplacental variant of choriocarcinoma. On immunohistochemistry, tumor marker which is positive for all cells, that is syncytiotoplast, cytoplasm, and intermediate trophoblast are AE1, AE3, cytokeratin 7, and Ki67 index is more than 90%. There are some tumor markers which is specific for syncytiotoplast are SCG, inhibin, and 3-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase. Then tumor marker specific for cytoplasm are SAL4, nuclear beta catenin, and GATA3. Then tumor marker specific for intermediate trophoblast are P63, HPL, HLA-G, MELCAM, that is CD146, MUC4, inhibin, and 3-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, and GATA3. Differential diagnosis for choriocarcinoma, epithelial trophoblastic tumor, invasive mode, placental site trophoblastic tumor, rapid form mode, and non-gestational choriocarcinoma. Then next is placental site trophoblastic tumor, which is implantation site intermediate cell neoplasm, which account for less than 3%. And it is also known as atypical choriocarcinoma, syncytioma, chorioepitheliosis, and trophoblastic pseudotumor. These are previous names of placental site trophoblastic tumor. And average age for placental site trophoblastic tumor is 30 years and generally present after normal pregnancy or spontaneous abortion or hereditary form. Most commonly patient present with vaginal bleeding or which may be associated with amenorrhea, abdominal pain, and uterine enlargement, in which beta HCG level is less than 1000 milli international unit per ml. Prognostic factor. There are some independent predictors. Predictors are advanced FIGO stage, antecedent pregnancy of 48 months or more, or presence of tumor cell with clear cytoplasm. There are some histological parameters that may correlate with prognosis. Are depth of invasion, tumor size, necrosis, and high mitosis, more than 5 per 10 high power field. On gross, these are well or poorly circumscribed lesions having diameter 1 to 2 centimeter in diameter. And on cut section, uh, it shows soft white to tan yellow along with along with areas of hemorrhage and necrosis. Some invasion is common in placental site trophoblastic tumor. On microscopy, there is sheets of polygonal spindle cells, spindle intermediate trophoblastic cell. These are mononuclear and polygonal cells with abundant amphophilic or eosinophilic cytoplasm. Then presence of abundant extracellular eosinophilic fibrinoid material and vascular invasion with overall maintenance of vascular architecture. It is a characteristic feature of placental site trophoblastic tumors. If tumors show necrosis, then it points towards malignant behavior of the tumor. On immunohistochemistry, positive tumor marker are human placental lactogen, MUC4, 3-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, CD146, that is MELCAM, and human chorionic gonadotropin, which is focally positive, and Ki67 index is 10 to 30%. Then differential diagnosis are choriocarcinoma, epithelioid smooth muscle tumor, epithelioid trophoblastic tumor, placental exaggerated placental site reaction, malignant melanoma, and molar gestation like mole, complete mole or invasion. Then epithelioid trophoblastic tumor, which is chorionic type of intermediate trophoblastic neoplasm, and most common site is uterus, and other sites are lower uterine segment, cervix, lungs, and most common age group is reproductive age group, and commonly present after normal term pregnancy. And this epithelioid trophoblastic tumor is resistant to chemotherapy. Most commonly present with vaginal bleeding, but other features are like elevation of serum beta HCG, and average interval is more than 6 years. That is preceding gestation and diagnosis of the tumor is more than 6 years. Mitotic count is more than 6, 10 high power field is unfavorable for prognosis. Survival rate is 100% if tumor is confined to uterus, and 50 to 60% if tumor is metastasized. On gross C, this is discrete nodule or cystic hemorrhagic masses which may infiltrate the surrounding structure. On cut section, this is white to tan in brown color associated with hemorrhage and necrosis. There may be ulceration or fistula formation may sometimes say. On microscopy, there is expansile circumscribed uniform mononucleate intermediate trophoblastic cells which are arranged in pod, arranged in nest of pods and associated with eosinophilic fibrillar hyaline-like material like keratin, which mimics like squamous cell carcinoma of the cervix. Large areas of geographic necrosis and extensive calcification is a unique feature of epithelioid trophoblastic tumor. Uh, Immunohistochemistry, positive tumor marker are P63 positive, then HLA-G, inhibin, cyclin A, 3-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, GATA3, and MELCAM and HPL is focally positive. And in epithelioid trophoblastic tumor, Ki67 index is 10%. Differential diagnosis are placental site nodule, keratizing squamous cell carcinoma of the cervix, in which CK18 is negative, and CK5, CK6, which is positive, which differentiate it from epithelioid trophoblastic tumor. Then last is placental site trophoblastic tumor. Then mixed trophoblastic disease. These are mixture of 2 or 3 histological types of gestational trophoblastic neoplasm, in which choriocarcinoma, placental site trophoblastic tumor, or epithelioid trophoblastic tumor. Most common site is uterus, fallopian tubes, and ovaries. And clinically, patient present with abnormal vaginal bleeding and history of normal pregnancy or previous molar pregnancy. And most common age group is 15 to 60 years. On gross, it shows hemorrhagic mass lesions associated with necrosis, and most common combination for mixed trophoblastic disease is choriocarcinoma associated with epithelioid trophoblastic tumor. See, this A is first is choriocarcinoma, in which sheets of pleomorphic tumor cells are arranged, and second is epithelioid trophoblastic tumor, in which with from nest and with eosinophilic hyaline-like material. Last is summary of immunohistochemistry for tumor marker. First, confirm trophoblastic lesions with the help of 3-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, which helpful for distinguish between gestational trophoblastic disease and non-gestational trophoblastic disease. Again, low molecular weight cytokeratin, which help useful for exclusion of uh, mimicker of mesenchymal origin. After confirmation of trophoblastic lesions, with the help of P63 and HPL, these lesions are again divided into 2 types. that is lesions of implantation site intermediate trophoblast, lesions of chorionic type intermediate trophoblast. If P63 is negative and HPL is triple positive, then it points towards lesions of implantation site intermediate trophoblast. And with the help of Ki67, if Ki67 index is less than 1%, then it confirms exaggerated placental site reaction. If Ki67 index is more than 10%, then it confirms placental site trophoblastic tumor. Again, if P63 is triple positive or HPL may be negative or positive, then it points towards the lesions of chorionic type of intermediate trophoblast. Again, with the help of Ki67 index and cyclin E, this chorionic type of intermediate trophoblast are again divided into two types. That is placental site nodule or epithelioid trophoblastic tumor. If Ki67 index is less than 8% and cyclin negative, then it points towards placental site nodule. If Ki67 index is more than 12% and cycling is positive, then it points toward epithelioid trophoblastic tumor. And last is beta SCG, which is positive in sensual uh, if beta SCG is positive, then it points towards choriocarcinoma of the gestational. Then